But we begin with surprising new revelations about the man with the famous name who died in a mysterious Hollywood Hills house fire late last month. Neighbors believed he was a member of the Rothschild banking family and possibly a billionaire. But tonight, we've learned a lot more about the true identity of William de Rothschild and the hidden life he led for more than 40 years. Eyewitness News reporter Jory Rand joining us live now on the Hollywood Hills with those new revelations tonight. Jory.
That's right, Mark. The man who lived and died in this Laurel Canyon home was known to neighbors simply as Will Rothschild. They believed he was part of that famous family, but it turns out he was not, and his name originally was not Rothschild at all. It was Kaufman, and tonight we caught up with a family member in Oregon who had no idea he had been living here these last 40 years. 1 week after this Hollywood Hills home caught fire and a man known to neighbors as Will Rothschild, a billionaire member of the famed Rothschild family, was found dead inside, the picture of who this man really was is beginning to come into focus. It turns out 87-year-old William de Rothschild used to be William Kaufman of Oregon. The LA Times reporting he changed his name in the 80s.
Hi, is this Richard?
It is.
Hi, Richard. Sorry to bother you. This is Jory Rand calling from ABC7 in Los Angeles.
Tonight we reached out to Richard Kaufman, brother to William de Rothschild, who had no idea his brother was even alive.
I thought he had passed away 40 years ago. Last contact I had with him was a telephone call that was kind of odd. It seemed like he had something to tell me. Didn't, and when I never heard from him again, I kind of presumed that maybe he had an illness, didn't want to talk about it, and just quietly passed away.
He hadn't, and had been quietly living in Laurel Canyon, somehow living like a billionaire with multiple properties and dozens of luxury vehicles on elevators inside his garage.
Those I saw with my own eyes, so they're there.
So where did the money come from?
Your guess is as good as mine.
His brother was equally baffled.
But I don't know how he made his money.
And neither friend nor family really knew who this person, who had lived as William Kaufman and Will de Rothschild, really was.
I was trying to decide whether I should be sad about this, but in reality, I'm somewhat happy about it, that he had a life, even though it might have been somewhat bizarre, that he lived a long life, did not pass away in his 40s.
He was a kind, gentle soul, and as far as he goes, there's no deception on his part. Absolutely not. He was nice to everyone. He never had a bad word to say about anyone, and was a good neighbor. I consider him a good friend, and I'm really sorry that he's gone.
So it was really important to neighbors here to let everyone know that Will was not posing as a member of the famous family. He never said that he was, but the lifestyle and the name could have led people to use their imagination to connect the dots, but he certainly had that lifestyle. As to where the money came from, so we had an inkling when we came here a week ago, and the Hummer parked in the driveway was registered to a Margot Merkin. She is the heiress to the budget rent-a-car fortune. She lives in the home up the street. The LA Times reporting that the two are married, though to neighbors here, they just assumed she was a cousin who he would go and visit. He lived here in this much smaller, rundown house. There is a much larger, much fancier home up the hill. They both apparently belong to Merkin. That could be where the money came from, but again, we're waiting to figure that out. We're also waiting to hear from the coroner for official cause of death.